Hey everyone, welcome back to our second part of ice dams and icicles on the house. So we're going to jump right into our answer of why when Dr. Dula and myself was driving through the neighborhood that we didn't see icicles or ice damming occurring on this one house. So let's look at the video and find out why. All right, we're driving through the neighborhood and you're just seeing all these icicles built up on these houses, ice damming happening and water backing up into the house. And we're just wondering why this house right here did not have any ice damming. Well, you're about to find out why. Can you guess? Before I give you the answer, a clue was coming up of why this particular house didn't have any ice damming. Well, if you guessed it by seeing this for sale sign right here, that is why this particular house did not have any icicles or ice damming occurring. There was no one in the house, so it was no need to have heat in the house or a lot of heat in the house for comfort. So what happens is that heat is lost and it goes through the attic and it melts the snow. I drew a couple of diagrams to kind of show what happened. So let's take a look at a couple of diagrams of why the icicles or the ice damming occurs around the house. So you have this situation where you have the heat that's in your house. It goes up through the attic, is displaced. The heat is displaced through the attic because of poor insulation right here, right? And what happens is it melts the underlaying or the snow closest to the roof. And that snow, of course, turns into water and it rolls down into the gutter and it turns into ice, and it happens over and over again to a point that that ice freezes and gets up under your shingles. And as it gets under your shingles and the heat hits it, you get water and condensation coming and dripping and messing up the insulation and working its way into the house. This is not a good situation. And so what we're going to talk about are some preventative ways and some intervention that we could work with in order to prevent the ice damming or the icicles, or if it does happen or occur, well, we have to allow intervention to come in and actually do some things that can actually work with the ice that showed up. So of course we know that preventive maintenance, or to prevent the ice damming to occur in the first place, is probably our best course of action. It takes a lot of planning and foresight, and it may cost, but it probably won't cost as much when you have the ice damming showing up and you have water leaking into your house. So we're going to talk about some preventive ideas. But as we look at the preventive ideas, I'm going to talk about one situation that I've seen some homeowners try to work with, and that's with heat trace tape on the actual roof or in the gutters. Now, this method can work, but it's not as, let's say, it doesn't work or is not as effective if you don't take all the precautionary measures. Heat trace tape on the roof or gutters is only so effective. There are a number of other items that should be included with your preventive maintenance, because there are individuals that use the heat trace tape and it has not worked because you didn't include all of the different steps. And so excited about sharing those steps with you, because there is a process, involved, and you have to collectively work at this process together. And we're going to talk about that word collective or working together towards the end of the video. But anyhow, those 3 preventive maintenance steps for this particular situation is making sure that we have insulation, circulation, and protection, right? So the insulation is so important to this particular, we're going to go back to our diagram. The insulation is important because the insulation is what's going to keep, right, the warm air out of the attic. So the heat stays where it needs to be, and that's inside the house, right? We want to keep the heat inside the house and not in the attic. So what professionals say is that a correct or a good amount of R value for your insulation when you're insulating a roof is probably like an R value of 49. An R value of 49 to help maintain a good insulation of maintaining the heat in the home. But not only that is that with the insulation, you want to make sure that any penetrations or any holes, if you will, that are coming through your ceiling, like where the lights are, or ceiling fans, or can lights, or roof accesses, that those areas are insulated as well. Some people use foam, spray foam insulation, but anywhere you have gaps or small holes inside the house that can find its way through the ceiling and into the attic, you want to make sure that you stop that heat getting into the attic and creating condensation or heat that's melting that underlaying snow that's up on that roof. We want to keep that away, right? The second thing we want to do, again, as a way of preventive maintenance and working together, is you have this eave right here, or soffit, that actually allows air to come in to your attic space. We want that cold air to come in, all right, so that your house or your roof can breathe, right? The house is a system just like the human body, and we need to allow air to come in and then exit out through roof vents. So let's take a look at a picture of the soffits. A soffit, or these vents right here under your house, allow air to get into your attic space, to allow that attic space to breathe. We don't want that attic stuffy and to the point where you can create condensation. We want to actually introduce air. So when we're painting our houses, we don't want to paint these vents and clog the vents up with paint so that we don't get air. We need to make sure that we keep these clean. We have sometimes there are people who spray these vents, spray wash them with a spray washer just to make sure that they stay clean, right? So that we can continue to introduce air into that space, right? So a correct situation right here is where we have good insulation. We have a good set of insulation right here. That's the pink stuff right here. And then our soffits, vents are clean, allowing air to come through our attic space, right? And with that circulation, that's our second step. You get the air coming in, and any type of warm air built up into this area, even in the summer months, is going to come out. We need to make sure that we have good venting. So we want to make sure that we're consulting with professionals, that we have the correct vents in order to get that warm air or that air circulation to flow. So you got the soffit vents where the air is coming in and the warm air and that ventilation coming through the house through the roof vents. You have ridge vents, you have these high roof vents that take the air out of the house. So that circulation of air is what actually assists with maintaining good temps in that attic and keeping it from the condensation to build up, or the ice damming in winter times like we just experienced, right? So the last course of action, and this is for when you're ready to remodel, because it's difficult to, of course, do this particular step, the protection, unless you're building, re-roofing your house. And that's the ice and weather shield. So that protection, the ice and weather shield, is a self-adhesive modified bending or rubber roofing, rubber roof, a rubber system that is actually applied to the corners or the valleys of the roof, as well as the edges of the roof, so that it actually helps against infiltration of water. It also goes around roof vents and chimneys. Again, and that's a added layer of protection. Sometimes this ice and weather shield is installed on the entire roof, but just for economical purposes, when you put them in the creases or the valleys and the edges of the roof, as well as around roof vents and chimneys, it helps the infiltration of water not to occur. So that's an added protection for your roof system. So these are the three ways collectively working together to deter ice damming or the icicles that are occurring on your house and getting in and causing causing damage. Now, as far as the intervention is concerned, or how you deal with the ice when it does show up on the house, is I've seen individuals shovel off the snow. I've done it once myself before, but it's not really advisable because that can be very dangerous. So you want to seek, professional help, because the ladder usage in the wintertime and standing on a roof with ice on it, it could be a potential, it can be very dangerous. So it's not advisable. That's why the preventive maintenance and collectively working with all those areas, with the areas that we said collectively, the insulation, the circulation, the protection, helps you not put yourself in those uncompromising predicaments. But just in case that situation does occur, you can actually shovel the snow or have someone take the snow off the roof, and then also break up the ice. Again, another dangerous situation. But that will assist with the water not backing up into your house, causing further damage. The other thing that I've seen as far as as intervention is that I've seen people use salt, not just any type of salt, but a calcium chloride salt. It's a roof melt, and I've heard that it works in weathers up to negative 60 degrees. And also with this calcium chloride, is not hard on your concrete, your wood decks, or your plants. It does actually cause damage, but it's not as damaging as your sodium chloride, which is a rock salt. And I've heard that rock salt works, its workability for melting snow and ice is at like 14 degrees. So it's not, it doesn't work as well as the calcium chloride, but it's not as expensive. The sodium chloride or the calcium chloride is twice a bit as expensive as your rock salt. But what I've seen happen is that individuals will fill up a stocking, a half stocking with the calcium chloride, and they'll tie a rope to the end of the stocking with it filled with this roof melt or the calcium chloride. And they'll swing it up onto the roof, right? And they'll actually pull, I'll show it right here, they'll pull the stocking down in the direction of the roof, and actually pull it to the edge of the gutter and actually lean up against the ice. So what's happening is that once this stocking melts the ice, it creates a channel in the ice so that the actual water that is melting from the heat that's coming from inside your house and it melts that snow, it creates a channel so that the water can actually work its way off the roof rather than into your house. So that is the intervention that actually takes place when you have ice damming or those large icicles on the house. So I hope you enjoyed the information that we had to share on the 3H quick tip. And like I was sharing, the idea that we wanted to share at the end as far as preventive maintenance. For those that don't know, we have a 3H pre-apprenticeship workshop for young people. And when it comes to preventive maintenance, we believe and understand that young people also have a process of preventing themselves from not having opportunity when they're entering into their professional lives. And so we believe that as it relates to preventive maintenance, there are three things that we want to focus on that we believe should increase in a young person's life and that they should work on as young people. And that's the increase of knowledge, the increase of skills, and the increase of talents. Collect all together, not just one, not just increasing knowledge, not just school education, not just hand skills, but also a crafted understanding your crafted talent and having that ability to work well together. Those three working harmoniously together, we believe will redefine and reshape what we think labor is. So that's what we call restoring the dignity of labor, creating sustainable pathways for future generation, because we believe that your best version comes by building together rather than building apart. So thank you again for joining us for this 3H quick tip. We hope you enjoyed the tips. Also, stay tuned because we're going to be sharing an online 3H workshop and a chance for young people to win $25 Amazon gift cards. So stay tuned, and we hope you again enjoyed. Share this video, like it, and subscribe to our channel, Coach Green Gene. And so take care and have an amazing winter and an expectancy of the spring and that warm weather coming in, because I'm sure looking forward to it. All right, take care.